Hello, welcome to the Comeback Sports Podcast. And this is season 5, episode 9. And joining me are two long-term guests. I don't think they need that big of introduction since they've been here at least twice. But we got Moneymaker Mike and we have my boy Sam. What's up, guys? How's it going?
What's up, AJ? Doing
What's
well, man.
going on?
Good man, I don't think I had you guys both at the same time.
Nope.
So this is be like another mega episode.
Yeah, man. You know, I was really hoping, AJ, that we could talk just a little bit more crap to Mr. Moneymaker Mike on this, but we don't have a lot of ground to stand on coming into this week 17 season.
Oh, yeah. And I was just telling these guys earlier, I mean, it's too bad Mike couldn't get a friend to join on to support the Vikings with him, but that's just typical Vikings, only showing up.
I was going to say, right, only in good conditions. If we had we won, I mean, maybe it's a different story, but no.
One thing I do like about week 15 is that besides the Lions, of course, everybody lost. So There's a chance. We all have a chance. So
even
that's
the Bears
one thing to look forward. Oh, that was such a shitty way for them to lose, but it's typical Bears fashion, though.
Yeah,
such a.
But we could talk shit about the Bears and the Lions after we get to the first topic of the day. And let me go. I have like this cool thing where I can like add banners and shit. So let's transition to the first topic. So as of now, it is December 18th, but because next week is Christmas, we're going to film this ahead of time. But moving forward to week 17, so take this with a grain of salt because things might change by week 17. We're going to be talking about the Green Bay Packers at the Minnesota Vikings matchup. And how we're going to go about this matchup is we'll break it down to, we'll list each team's strength and weaknesses, who is the X factor to win the game for either team, and ultimately who's going to win the matchup. And lastly, is the winner of this matchup going to be in the wild card round? So, Mike, since you're by yourself, I'm going to let you start off with your Vikings. List some strengths and weaknesses, and then me and Sam will transition over to the Packers.
Well, in terms of strength, if this was back in like week 8 or whatever, when they first played each other, I would say Kirk Cousins, big time strength, the offense, big time strength. Now I'm firmly ingrained that the defense is probably the only strength of this team right now. If it wasn't for a really good defense, they are probably only at 5 wins still. They probably wouldn't have beat Atlanta, and they definitely probably wouldn't have beat the Saints. They got a couple of cool spot starts from Josh Dobbs, who could have, again, been a highlight, but as we talk right now, is no longer even the second string quarterback. He's the third string emergency guy. So strengths, I would say their D-line has been pretty good. They've been okay against the rush this year. DBs are okay too. They're running like 3 safeties consistently, which is very different. But their offense is just sputtering. They're just not getting the kind of points they were getting a couple of weeks ago. And it's frustrating because, you know, when Josh Dobbs first got there, he put up like 24 points. The next week, like again, 24. And then after that, after being in the system for about 3 weeks, he just kind of lost it. And they couldn't do anything against the Bears or the Broncos. And now we look at both the Bears and Broncos. Broncos did pretty well. I mean, they lost against the Lions, but the Bears also, their offense at least doesn't look bad anymore. They might still suck, but the Vikings just they can't seem to get it together. They can't put together a couple of wins like they were doing before, and it sucks because, as we've said, everyone else lost. If they would have just won, they'd be this much closer to the Lions. But I think the Lions would have to lose out, and the Vikings would have to win out to win the division. Still in a good playoff spot. That's great, but I don't really know that I want them to be in the playoffs at this point.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. It's just either one of these teams, if they make it in the playoffs, it's not going to be a pretty wild card matchup, whoever they play against.
No. Yeah. I mean, you're looking at probably the Cowboys if they play someone,
or San Francisco,
or San Francisco. Like there's
gosh, no, please
get lit up for 50 points in your wild card game and then get a sort of okay draft pick out of it. But dude, I feel like Josh Dobbs was better when he didn't know the Vikings offense at all.
And I think it's because he just wasn't thinking about it. So like, all right, well, I don't really know what I should do, and I can improvise. Where now it's like I know what I should do, but it's not there. So what do I do? You know? And I mean, I saw someone else say this, and they just started another guy, Nick Mullins, this past week, and he made a lot of what you'd call rookie mistakes. And there was someone on Vikings Twitter who was just like, if you're going to get consistent like rookie mistakes out of a veteran guy, you might as well just start your rookie now. And I would be okay with that. Like if these guys, these backups who are veterans are going to be making the same kind of mistakes as you would see a rookie make, you might as well go with the young guy and see what you got.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, young guys are also just cheaper to start anyway.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And he was a 5th round pick. So if he gets hurt, all right, well, we'll probably have to draft another guy at the same spot next year. And that's how it is.
But who's the guy again, by the way?
Jaron Hall. He came out
Jaren.
of, I think it was North Carolina.
Okay. Yeah, Nick Mullins is a very interesting character or player because I remember his debut game. It was against the Giants on Monday Night Football. The reason I remember this because it was the same night that my niece was born. I was watching Monday Night Football in the waiting room. It's crazy, and even he went to the same school as Brett Favre. So Brett Favre sent him like congratulation text, like, "Hey, way to represent our school. Good job on your first game." And since then, Nick Mullins has never been to that level of success, no matter what team he's been on. And yeah, like I recall, like I saw a replay on Instagram where Nick Mullins had like a sack interception. I didn't think that was possible.
It was bad, dude. It was bad. So he, you know how like there's a rule that if your arm's going forward, it's not a fumble. So he goes to the sideline saying, because this is just after it's like a strip sack. It looked like he was telling the coach like it's okay, like I my hand was going forward, like it was thrown. But the refs are like, yeah, it was thrown, but like the guy caught it. Yeah, it's not a fumble, it's an interception. You still turned the ball over. Like that, it was. Again, those are one of those rookie mistakes where you might as well start the younger guy. Maybe he doesn't do that, or maybe he does. It doesn't matter. If it's not Kirk Cousins at this point, which I never thought I'd say this, I don't want it. This has only made me want him back next year even more because they would. If you look at the numbers he had before he got hurt, and you look at where everyone is in the NFC, they probably win more a few of these past games, plus the game this past weekend. They probably win all these games because his quarterback play was just, at least it was crisp. It wasn't like Patrick Mahomes level or Josh Allen level, but it was way better than mediocre, which what they're getting now, and they're losing because of it.
Oh yeah, I mean, Kirk Cousins, in my opinion, was my like early MVP candidate. Like just how he was performing into the season.
Yep, all those turnovers killed him though.
Yeah. Yes. I guess we can transition over the Packers. Sam, you want to start off with what you're seeing for strengths and weaknesses for our team?
Dude, strengths. I think so. I was talking to Morgan about this. We were like struggling through the Buccaneers game, especially the second half, and it's like, it is not the right time to fire Joe Barry, and I have a theory why.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So Jordan Love, I think he's like making mistakes, but not necessarily the same ones over and over again. Mm-hmm. I feel like he is learning, and he does give a shit about winning. I think you could tell at the end of the Giants game how much it hurt that he lost that one too. Don't fire Joe Barry because our defense is made of paper right now. And if Jordan Love continues to play really well and our defense does, maybe we make the playoffs. But if he plays really well and our defense continues to suck, we don't. We get a good draft pick. Jordan Love proves himself as the guy going forward. And then our shit years out of the way. And then we can actually make a push with these young guys moving into their second and third and fourth years.
Mm-hmm.
That's my theory. I think we make the most out of this season. We're not going to beat San Francisco. We're not going to beat Dallas. We probably don't beat Detroit for a third time. So give the young guys a chance to develop. Get rid of Joe Barry. Bring in Al Harris. Defense is fixed.
Al Harris. All right.
Joe Harris.
Bill Belichick's looking for a job too, I heard, so he can be our DC.
No way.
I think he retires. If he got fired, I think he would just retire from football.
Dude,
or go to college.
He's so checked out. He's not going to college, bro. You can't afford him.
That he's going to the Chargers because they've got a quarterback and they've got a defense.
Yeah.
There is a way to beat the Cowboys, Sam, and it's very simple. 10% precipitation and rain. Yeah. All it takes is a couple of droplets of rain, and those Cowboys are nothing. Just look what happened against Buffalo last night. They couldn't do anything when the rain was on them. So that's all we got to do is just have a little sprinkles and drizzle for us to win against the Cowboys in a playoff game.
Dude, how good is Tucker Kraft? He's going to be quite a tight end for us, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think he probably had the best game of anybody against the Buccaneers on the offense.
Yes, yeah. And that kind of leads into one of my points for in terms of strength. Strength is like there is a fair distribution across all these young receivers on the offense, which I like. Sure, there's no like it guy. There's not like a Devontae Adams or a JJ, Jamar Chase, all that sort of thing. But if you can fairly distribute the ball on young receivers, and then one of these guys will eventually get the reps or the real game reps to be the it guy, whether it's Jalen Reed, Romeo Dobbs, or Christian Watson, which it honestly should have been after we saw in his rookie year.
Yeah.
But I mean, those two guys I just mentioned, like they both have 50 plus receptions amongst those two alone. And then you have the other guy you mentioned, but then kind of transition to Jordan Love is like he's fine. I honestly think he's fine. I can't in terms of a first year starter. Sure, he had a couple years to sit, which isn't very common amongst young NFL quarterbacks. But I could say by next year he's going to be easily he's going to be in the top 15 or top 10 of best quarterbacks in the position. And right now he's top 5 in TDs, top 10 in passer rating, and passing attempts that are 20 plus. So it's not like he's a dink and dak kind of guy where it's just checked down to some dude and then call it a day.
He's not Purdy.
Yeah, Purdy. Well, actually, I want to get into Purdy later about that. He fits into the game, in today's game. So as a young quarterback, I think he's not making those rookie mistakes. He's learning from mistakes. Sure, he still makes them, but he doesn't repeat the same mistake 2 or 3 times. So the quarterback potential is still there. The distribution is there amongst the receivers. And Aaron Jones is back, as you can see him wearing his jersey right now. And first game back, I mean, he had a very good game against the Bears in week 1. And perfect day for my jersey to come in the mail. It's too bad I didn't get to wear it on that day. But in his game back, 4 yards per carry, which is a decent game to come off of. Mm-hmm. He was 4 for 4 on targets thrown at him, so he still got hands. So that's only going to elevate the overall offense if he can still catch in the backfield and then still move the ball down the field to relieve Jordan Love from the quarterback duties and just kind of, all right, young guy, I got the ball. I'll bring it down a couple yards, and we'll just keep on going as much as we can. So that's more of the strengths. In terms of weaknesses, the defense is obviously the biggest hole, and maybe they don't want to get rid of Joe Barry because I don't know. I mean, you could get another good defensive pick next year. Just draft some Georgia guy like they do for the past 2 or 3 drafts.
The Georgia
yeah. The defense is trash. Like before this game, the Buccaneers averaged about 2 touchdowns a game. Packers allowed Baker Mayfield 4 passing TDs. Like I was looking at some footage, and like there's just a lot of high safety coverage and just a lot of open space, and allow him to get those big plays and allow so many yards. So the passing defense has a lot of flaws in it, or at least in that example of a game. So they can't allow that to happen for the remainder of the season. But I'm gonna be honest with you, Sam. Matt LaFleur is not my guy. Like, I like him slightly more than Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy is just clueless, in my opinion. Like,
the Cowboys are pretty damn good.
Calling plays now. They're moving the ball. If you want a jet sweep every second or third play, Mike is not your guy. You need Mr. LaFleur on the play call.
Matt LaFleur is almost too smart for his own good sometimes, and some things get a little too conservative. He gets a little. I think my only problem with Matt LaFleur is the defense. It's not much more of like the tactics of defense. It's the discipline. Like these defensive guys are just kind of like, who was it? Was it Quay Walker who got ejected?
Yeah, I think Russell Douglas moved the ball.
Yes, like those guys are just being little kids in a way. Yeah. And like I just feel like Matt LaFleur, at least how he's going about coaching, whether it's how he disciplines not the players but the staff, in terms of like we need to get these guys accountable. We need to minimize the penalties because yards are yards, and maybe that's just not going down. But I could be wrong. But either way, I don't like how conservative he gets on tight situations. And the very first example of that was when the NFC Championship game against the Bucks, Tom Brady against Aaron Rodgers, the last time we saw that matchup, and they didn't go for 2. I was mind blown. You don't give Tom Brady the ball back for 2 reasons. He's smart with the ball, and the game the NFL loves Tom Brady, so they're going to find a way for him to be saved. So you got to be aggressive in those sort of situations. And I didn't sense that from LaFleur. And since then, I've had this ick almost of like, guys, this guy really do I want him to be the guy? Like, he's really smart, but I need a guy with balls when it matters most.
Yeah, great hair, great beard, great eyebrows.
Oh, yeah, dude. I remember my ex-girlfriend at the time loved watching Packers football because Matt LaFleur was on TV.
He's a good face for the franchise, covering up Gutekunst and Mark Murphy.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But hey, Gutekunst probably looking a little better after this season than going into it, I think.
I agree. His image to the public, at least to Packers Nation, has definitely been more of a positive note, especially with the whole Rodger staying or leaving debacles between those guys. So it's better for his image at least. So who is the X factor for both teams when this matchup comes? How about you, Mike? Just do Vikings if you only do Vikings.
I would say, well, I can do one for both.
Okay.
For the Packers, and it's not just because he's on my fantasy team, but Jaden Reed is really fucking good. He could be like your guy's Debo, well, maybe not Debo Samuel, but he can do a lot more than just catch the ball. Like I saw some plays where he could run it. They could have a really cool offense again if they just trusted Jordan Love a little bit more, or maybe just ran the ball a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, he was looking good. I mean, they got a couple of good receivers on that team. They just need, a little bit more cohesion when it comes to quarterback play. But Jordan Love isn't the worst either. For the Vikings, I'm going to go with probably Danielle Hunter, their D end. I mean, he's just really good at what he does. I mean, if you can get to the quarterback, no matter who's at quarterback position, I mean, you're just going to create turnovers eventually. And Jordan Love can get a little panicky and throw the ball up there. So I would say he's probably the X factor here. I would love to say JJ, but again, the offense is so not ready right now for that. So I'm not going to go with him.
All right. How about you, Sam?
Dude, I think, honestly, I love the way TJ Hawkinson plays for the Vikings. So I think if you've got, Addison and Jefferson on the field, he'll probably get a lot of over the middle coverage, especially with Joe Barry's defense playing high safety coverage. Packers, I really want to say Christian Watson because, like, to your point, Jordan Love gets a little finicky, and Christian Watson can high point the ball in the end zone, like that catch he had against the Chiefs, I believe. And then alternatively, Reed is a great guy, really speedy, good at catching the ball, running routes, but he missed like a ball completely in the back of the end zone against the Giants that would have put us up late. And Christian Watson catches that ball, I think. So he's a huge X factor. But like to the point of the defense, if we actually plan on winning games, Jai Alexander's got to get into the game and actually like play some football. I know Stokes is coming back, and hopefully he can stay healthy and keep moving. But like Valentine, those guys are cool stories, but they're not going to like stop Godwin. They're not going to stop Jefferson or like St. Brown from Detroit or any of those like top tier guys. It's pretty clear. Like, he stopped MVS by tackling him before the ball got to him. So,
dude, I miss some Eric Stokes, man. He was one of my favorite rookies that year. Those are some good players you guys both mentioned. For me, for the Packers, I think one guy that could really make a difference, it's something very low key, is your guy Sam, Luke Van Ness. If he can, he's had a couple good games lately, and if he can contribute to stopping the run defense, because as Mike said, the pass offense is a mess because they can't even give JJ the ball anymore. So if you can stop another component, which is the run offense, that whole offense is just going to be neutralized. In terms of Vikings, I would say Hawkinson has to be the it factor because what I like with the tight end position is it's literally a jack of all trades, to where they have to block, they have to catch, and most of the catching happens on down the middle sort of plays, that the easy plays that anyone that plays the quarterback position can throw to. So Hawkinson can make the offense much easy for whoever is in that position for the Vikings to really drive that offense down.
Yeah, absolutely. It just, it'd be great if they had someone else who could throw the ball to maybe an open JJ, or like you guys said, Addison's a great rookie right now. So it'd be cool if they don't waste two people's careers, but it's just wasn't on the cards this year.
Didn't he get in trouble again this season for like going like 70 and
No,
on his car? Or was that someone else?
He went 134 miles per hour, I think.
Allegedly.
Yeah. No, they clocked him in at that.
Okay, right.
Yeah, he admitted to it and everything. They clocked him in and everything.
Sam already knows. And this show, like the McAfee show, we have to make sure we say allegedly to anything we say.
Oh yes, yeah. No, yeah. This one's confirmed. This one is confirmed now. But yeah, he a little preseason trouble, and since then, dude, he's been literally very quiet. That's how everyone describes him as. He's a very quiet guy, in almost a weird way. Like, dude, you just scored a touchdown. Like, you should be excited, but he's kind of, he's a quiet guy. Maybe he's just waiting for his real big moment, or maybe he's seen a lot of Vikings moments that got really, really big. And then there's like a letdown right away, like I've seen. So
yeah,
it could be a mixture of both. Don't get your hopes too high.
Diggs, Jefferson, kind of got to wait until your moment is pretty clear that you're up there with those guys. I think he's probably just respectful of the history there.
Yeah, long history of just great wide receiver play and no quarterback to throw him to.
Dude, if Green Bay and Minnesota just had one,
it'd be a great team.
Favre to Moss and Jefferson to Rodgers and Diggs. That'd be
it would have been great.
Damn, huh? Well, one can dream.
I mean, Favre did end up being on the Vikings at one point, but no Randy Moss. He did make one of our receivers at the time look really good, and he got paid after that because of that season. But I mean, it was just the 1 year.
Took you guys to the dance almost.
Yep.
We didn't confirm who's winning this game. I forgot to ask that question.
Vikings.
Yeah, I think the Vikings are probably going to win the game. Only because the Packers are so bad at closing. Like, the Vikings are also bad at closing out, but they're not as bad as the Packers. Like, man, you guys was it against the Giants? Like, that was frustrating for me to watch. Like, of course, I'm rooting for the Giants here, but like, that was frustrating to watch. That last couple of minutes was just, man. I mean, you scored a touchdown, but you left just enough time for fucking Tommy DeVito. Who's this guy? And then he comes out and he drives the ball down the field. It's weird. There's something going on with the backups this year. There's been so many backups that I think no one has that prep time beforehand. Like, they were studying Daniel Jones, or if you're the Jets, or if you're playing against the Jets, you're studying Rodgers. You're not looking at Wilson or whoever the heck else. I think Simeon was the last one in there. Like, you're not looking at that tape. You're preparing for the one guy, and then you never know who you're going to play now.
Yeah, it's like that guy can't be any sort of a better iteration of any qualities of the guy we did prepare for. So what's the big deal? And then Tommy DeVito just can run the ball like super fast down the field, and that's frustrating. But like, also to the point of the Packers kind of mailing it in, it seems, on defense a little bit, and rookie quarterbacks and people who don't play a lot of football do really well against us. Baker's actually a solid guy, but getting a perfect passer rating in Lambeau is historically bad defensive coordinating performance. No one's ever done it before.
Yep. Only two guys have got a perfect passer rating. That's the baddest man on the planet, and Baker Mayfield
and Aaron Rodgers.
Once Mike reminded me of the Giants loss, I'm picking the Vikings just because losing to Tommy DeVito, a guy that still lives with his mom. I'm just
so proud of it too. Like,
dude,
I'm so proud of it. But like, man, the guy was really proud of that.
Bro, he's literally down the street and he doesn't have to pay rent, man. I'd be proud too.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's really encouraging. I'll say.
That's just the lore. That's just the world we live in, man. Everything's just so expensive. Brock Purdy has a roommate.
I know. He'll get paid one day, but just not right now.
Yeah. We kind of briefly talked about this, but it's kind of re-clarified. Is the winner of the matchups in this case, do you guys think the Vikings are going to the wild card round?
It's almost impossible to not at this point. Like, the way, mathematically speaking, like, they wouldn't even be eliminated from playoff contention until like week 18, maybe, even if they lost the next two games. That's how bad the NFC is right now, or really the NFL in general. But like, I mean, they just need to win like two of these next three, and they could probably sneak one against Detroit. And I really do think they're going to beat the Packers, but at Detroit, they'll probably lose that last one.
Yeah, because we're looking at the hunt list. Vikings are third on the hunt, and it's definitely doable for them. I think if they take care of business against Cincinnati, I have high hopes that they're gonna get into the playoff spot.
Dude, the Packers fell from 7 to 11 with that loss to Tampa Bay.
Oh yeah,
one loss can do that to you.
You think the Seahawks can get it together? I mean, the Rams are sitting in the 7th spot right now.
dude, I just hate those divisions where it's just one team, everyone else just sucks. I almost like the NFC South better because they all suck.
You'll say they all suck there, yeah.
They all have losing or 50% records.
Yeah, I'm looking at this playoff picture right now, and it is not looking good for most teams. I mean, like I said, the Bears technically, same with the Giants. The Giants still technically have a chance, but I just don't see that happening. I mean, the Rams are probably going to maybe not win out, but I don't think the Seahawks are not going to win tonight.
Yeah, I'll share my screen just so everyone can see what we're looking at here. But yeah, I mean, Lions are running away with it. I mean,
they have to win one game to win the division.
They can't. Yeah, Vikings won't beat the Lions twice, but I think they split. I don't think either team gets 2 wins.
Yeah. Rams have been like consistently disappointing, if that makes sense, the last 2 years.
Yes, but this year
that's a weird problem over there.
It could be a different year now. I mean,
yeah.
At 7 and like no one thought they were going to be 7-7. Now everyone thought they were going to suck for probably the next 4 or 5 seasons, but this year they got that one receiver Puka Nacua, and he's going off. He looks like a little Cooper Kupp out there, so they're probably only steps away from being really good again.
Yeah. My bad. I didn't realize that this said week 15. I forgot the Vikings already played Cincinnati and they lost. Okay.
Yep. Big time.
Yeah, that T. Higgins catch, that was
so dumb, dude.
That was insane because he hasn't done nothing all year.
What's worse about it is it happened 2 times in that game. T. Higgins did that twice to them. Like there was a touchdown which was really devastating because if you watch the replay, there's one of the Vikings DBs had a chance to just swat the ball out of his hand at least, or just push him out, but he didn't. He just watched. But it happened earlier in the game too on it was like a 3rd and 19 or something, and he just threw it up. Jump ball, and the guy caught it. T. Higgins, he'll go up there and get it. You need one of those guys on your team.
Yeah,
it really helps the quarterback out.
Yeah, for sure. All right, cool. So Vikings still have a chance. So Mike, I'll be rooting for you, low key, just low key.
You don't even
I'd rather be the Vikings than the Lions, dude, for sure.
Yeah,
100%.
Yep.
And speaking of Vikings, we can transition over to some off topics, and let's talk about Mike's man, Kirk First Cousins. Is he staying or is he going somewhere else next year?
Oh, man, I've been mulling this over. If he didn't get injured, I would say probably going somewhere else next year. But because he's injured, and I don't think he's going to be able to pass that, like, you know how like in March free agency they have to pass a physical in order to sign with another team and stuff like that. He's probably not going to be ready by then. He probably can't perform. So that might hurt his ability to get paid more somewhere else, where the Vikings could be like, hey, man, you know us. We know you. You're so familiar with the coaching staff here, the organization as a whole, the players. You have connections here. You might as well stay at we'll pay you pretty good. If they give him like a 2-year, $60 million contract with not all of it guaranteed, I would be ecstatic for that. And that's a lot of money, like $30 million a year. But compared to what everyone else is getting paid, that ends up being like the 17th most. No. So they're getting a pretty good deal on a guy who's, like you said, I mean, he was trending towards an MVP season. I'm not saying he was going to win it, but the quarterback play this year hasn't been like Brock Purdy's projected to win it. And he hasn't had that good of a year. Like, I don't know.
It's a good throws, but I agree. I think what happens if one of these like 12 backup quarterbacks starting wins the Super Bowl off of like not even a rookie contract? Just does it devalue the quarterback position to say like, oh, well, if Tommy DeVito can run the Giants offense through the gauntlet and win a Super Bowl, then is he just amazing? Or is it kind of like, oh, the game manager role isn't as like lucrative as you think?
That's how it's always been in the beginning of football time, is like every time you pay a quarterback big bucks, they somehow magically forget how to play football, or at least win a Super Bowl. Like Rodgers won it on his rookie contract, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. No, he wasn't on his rookie year.
He wasn't.
He was
a rookie. It was a contract.
It wasn't a big contract because this was while they still had Favre too. They gave him something, but it wasn't. He was definitely not a rookie or on his rookie deal anymore.
Oh, okay, maybe I'm wrong then.
I
But
don't think so, at least
Mahomes
Rodger
wasn't he one of the first Super Bowl, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just how it works, man. Like you pay the least amount of money for your most important position, arguably, and then you overpay these other guys, the supplements, the appetizers to the main course, and you get the Super Bowl for a very cheap price. And then
Burrow and Hurts got there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's not like this isn't something we've never seen before, and it's probably not going to change. The quarterback position is going to continue to be an expensive position to pay for, just because the quarterback is literally most cases the face of the franchise. They're going to get you all the brand deals and the audience, the media attention, all that good stuff. If we're in terms of the question where Kirk is going, yeah, I mean, if Kirk didn't start out so hot, then the easy answer would have been, oh, he's going to go somewhere else. But he's a hot commodity at the moment, I think. I mean, sure, he's older, but he's not a bum, if you ask me. And if you're gonna pay him, it's gonna have to be a pretty lucrative deal. So it's a tough question, and I'm probably gonna say they're probably gonna want him back. And Kirk, I feel like Kirk doesn't. He likes to stay comfortable.
Absolutely.
And this is a very comfortable spot for him. And these backups that are playing ahead of him right now, it's clear as night and day that they're not better than Kirk. So I think Kirk is going to stay next year.
Yeah. And I mean, if it wasn't for the bad quarterback play, he'd probably be even in a better, despite the injury, even in better position for money wise, like to negotiate. But I think just because they're gonna come to him like, hey man, we got to pay JJ, we got to pay this D end, and we got to pay like one or two more people. Can you just take a pay cut for like just to win a Super Bowl? Mm-hmm. This is at 30. He's like 36 now, 37. This is the time that if you haven't won one and you're still playing at a high level, you have to win one now. You're not going to be Tom Brady and winning it in your 40s. You're not going to be far of taking your team in your 40s to the NFC Championship game. That's just very, very unlikely. You can do everything you want to take care of your body, but it's very low percentage chance. So you might as well go all in. Does a guy really need $20 more million than what he's already due? I think he'd be all right without it, but that's totally up to him. If he walks away, good luck Atlanta Falcons, because I think that's who's going to go after him.
Hey man, I seen Kirk's drip. That man spends his money very conservatively.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I can't imagine what his bank account looks like, because he does not spend.
Atlanta's going to be a different planet for Kirk Cousins to be rolling into.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Damn, man. I can't imagine Kirk Cousins just rolling into what's that place called? That strip club that has really good wings.
Oh,
like Magic City.
Magic City, yeah.
Imagine Kirk Cousins at Magic City. Kirk would be the guy that would enjoy the wings more than the actual entertainment.
Oh yeah. 100%.
So do you think he's gonna, like, if the Vikings do keep him, do they go for a quarterback, their first round pick? Or do they kind of take someone late round who might have had more snaps over their college career? Because I think that's been a trend, getting guys like Purdy who have taken 1,000 reps at Iowa State.
Yeah, I would say it depends who's on the board. If someone like J.J. McCarthy's still there and it's the second round, I think they would take him.
I like J.J. McCarthy.
I don't think – what's his name? Jaden Daniels from LSU. He's good. He's probably going to go right away. But if he ends up landing in their spot, I would be very much okay with them taking him for their first pick. Other than that, like, I'm out on Caleb Williams. I think I said this last time I was on here, AJ. Like, I don't think the guy is going to be very good. I think he looked really flashy in college, and that's how a lot of college QBs look. And then they get to the NFL and they got to face big boy defenses. And if you can't beat them in the college, you're not going to beat them in the NFL.
Yeah. Caleb Williams, to me, he's a product of Lincoln Riley. Anyone that followed college football long enough, those guys look really good when things go really well for them. And when they get to the NFL, it takes a lot of growing up for them. Like, we're seeing Baker Mayfield starting to grow up from that Lincoln Riley offense because Baker Mayfield was coached by Lincoln Riley when they were both at Oklahoma. So, like, the potential is there for Caleb Williams, but he really needs to learn to adjust. And the game of college football is different this season than last season, and I just didn't see him adjusting as well as he probably should have. I think he has the high talent, but he has a lot to learn, and I honestly wouldn't want to pick him number one. But because the talent is so high, you kind of have to. The ceiling is high, but the floor is not low, but it's in the middle, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree.
I like Jaden Daniels. I've been following since the Arizona State days when he took care of Justin Herbert when Justin Herbert was at Oregon. And I remember freshman little Jaden Daniels, 180 pounds, 6'2" kid, nervous as hell, but took care of business. He has that arm. I like watching him play. So I'm excited to see him play in the NFL and see where he goes for sure.
Yeah.
I kind of want, before I go into this topic, I kind of want to do with the MVP conversation. It's not in the notes, so I'm kind of just improvising here. So, according to sports betting, Brock Purdy is the favorite to win the NFL MVP. However, he's going to win it. I think as of now, he's going to win it. I honestly would rather give my vote to CMC, Christian McCaffrey, dude. Like, that dude is literally, he's literally the offense, man. He has more receptions than any Packers receiver that we have in our lineup. And of course, he's just a monster. He's like 18 TDs rushing. Like, he just makes everything so much easier for anyone that's in the quarterback position. I feel like he just doesn't get the credit he deserves. And it's obvious that the MVP has become more of a running back award. A quarterback award. I think Brock Purdy is a great story. Last pick of the draft, came in when Jimmy Garoppolo couldn't play, is leading the team to a number one seed in the NFC. It's a good story for an MVP award. And of course, he has the best passer rating and all the other statistics. But I really like watching CMC play. Mm-hmm. And I think he has my vote for the MVP. As a Iowa Stater, I'm happy to see Purdy in the conversation. But that's just my opinion. I just think he's the most valuable player. Because if you take CMC out of there, do you think Purdy can produce those same numbers?
I think a lot more attention comes onto the rushing Brock Purdy and seeing how he can handle the blitz. Because CMC is like, kind of a get out of jail free card in a way, but it's not against Brock Purdy. I think if you put any sort of quick all-purpose back, but dude, Christian McCaffrey back to Iowa bowl game when he put like 350 all-purpose yards on our defense, which was like
I saw that game
in the nation at the time. I think that was insane. But yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's gonna go to Purdy because it's a quarterback award. Yep. That being said, I don't know. It's tough because I don't like Iowa State. I've never liked San Francisco. What they do to the Packers in the playoffs, but I think he's gonna have to win it, and that's gonna have to be fine with me.
And if I had to tell you, Mike, how me and Sam know each other is we're both from Iowa. We grew up in the Quad Cities, but Sam went to Iowa and I went to Iowa State. So we've always had this low-key hate against each other.
Dude, I love you, AJ. What the hell?
What? this is news to me, bro.
Amazing. You guys both chose to be Packers fans, and Iowa is like closer to Minnesota. Like, there's a lot of Vikings fans in Iowa. Maybe it's just because the Packers have been historically better, but
unfortunately, I think the state of Iowa is being overthrown by KC fans now.
Yeah, I see. I can see that.
100%. Yeah, I have a few KC friends that are cheering for them, and hey, they're not doing great this year, though. I genuinely don't think they're that good.
It's
like
fun
you always see the Chiefs playing, and you're like, yeah, but they'll get it figured out when it matters. I don't think they are.
This might be one of those years they don't get it figured out, which is going to be weird to say, but AFC looks pretty open.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Even Miami was supposed to, I thought Miami was going to be the runaway, but not even they're looking a little sloppy too. So it is interesting to watch the AFC this year. And I have nothing against. I kind of do something against Mahomes just because he's kind of stealing the spotlight of the aggressive quarterback. I'm just petty like that because I still think Rodgers is, but God, he's been kind of annoying me lately. He's just been crying a lot about calls and stuff.
Yeah,
telling Josh Allen like such a bullshit call, and Josh just like pats him on the back. It's like, all right, man.
Right.
Oh, that was so awkward, dude.
Like, what is he supposed to say? Like, dude, you guys should have totally won this game. I'm sorry. Like, no one cares about our job in Buffalo.
Yep. If I were Josh, I would have been like, hey, remember I didn't get the ball back in that overtime game?
Exactly. And then he's the Bills have had a rougher year too, and he's not like, obviously he's not like ecstatic about it, but he's also not like blaming it on the refs or something. Like,
yeah,
they came out as an organization, was like, yeah, it was the refs' fault, and then everyone's showing them Kadarius Toney with a foot over the line. Like, at some point you guys say, hey, we're wrong, we're gonna fix it. And they just don't want to blame Kadarius Toney because they traded for him. Like, they don't want to. They don't want
to justify it.
Yeah, they're trying to justify, but dude, the guy's just not that good. Like, he just isn't.
Chiefs thing.
I think there's a reason the Giants were okay with letting him go. I think they were like, all right, yeah, take him, go ahead.
I saw a meme where it's like Patrick Mahomes should win the Walter Payton Award just for dealing with Kadarius Toney.
He got more out of MVS than Rodgers did, I think, or has been. I don't know.
Oh my god! I remember last year we're talking about MVS on the Chiefs. I think it was like a playoff game. I was like, I've dealt with MVS and the Packers. He's gonna drop he's gonna drop everything, and then the next day he gets like 100+ receiving yards.
Which, you know, shout out. I love MVS, so I'm happy to see him doing well. It's always tough to watch receivers that all they have to do is catch it and they don't, and then it, you know, their whole career kind of goes to shit.
Yeah, I will give Patrick Mahomes a pat in the back for dealing with receivers just dropping. He has like the most drop passes from his receivers, so I give him props for what he's doing with the most he can, with the most he has. So, but yeah, going on to our last topic, let's kind of transition back to kind of a semi-Packers news. Rodgers. So Jets are eliminated from the playoffs. Not really news to anyone. They're just bad. But with the team they have now, is this good enough for Rodgers to take to the playoffs next year when he's fully healthy?
Yeah. Yeah.
What you, Sam?
Yes.
I think so. I mean, they should. If they remotivate, but this whole thing could have been like pretty tough on their morale as a team. We'll see. I don't think he should take a snap this year. I think there's a good chance he might, just to be like, fuck you guys, I did it. I beat a torn Achilles, which I'm all for. So maybe it takes like a kneel down if we see the Jets win a game in the rest of the season.
That would be the way he did it. You know what? That is actually at 100%. That's what's going to happen. Like the last snap of the year, they're going to run him out there. He's going to take the knee. Oh my God.
They'll be losing by 15 points and he's just going to take a knee down.
Give him a whole standing ovation.
Oh my God. That's going to be so bad. That's going to be what the NFL wants so badly, but
please, Aaron.
Man, I hope they don't do that.
Yeah, Rodgers should not touch a football for the rest of the year. Well, not touch football, but should not play a snap for the rest of the year.
So obviously the gaps of the Jets is like, if you can't block anybody, then Rodgers probably not a better option than a young mobile guy who can kind of throw on the run, because you're going to be running around all season.
And that leads to my point for this question is no, this team is not good enough because they need to address the offensive line issue that's been lingering even since the offseason. Like, they need a better O-line for an old-ass Rodgers to be vintage Rodgers, because for sure, vintage Rodgers, he can move, he can throw on the run in any spot, but now he's older and has to be a little bit more careful with himself. I don't care what anyone says. That recovery, that's just voodoo witch work, man. Like, I feel like he still has to be careful when he comes back to playing football, and that O-line needs to be better so they don't waste on this opportunity to play with probably Rodgers' last like somewhat great year of NFL football. So if you're gonna have him back, you need to make sure his ass is gonna be protected. Otherwise, it's just gonna be a wasted season. Because like here's why I think this season failed so much for the Jets. That team was literally designed just for Rodgers. Like a lot of those guys Rodgers played with. Like, you had Allen Lazard, you had Randall Cobb, and it's just that's who we wanted.
Nathaniel Hackett.
That was the negotiation. Yeah, and Nathaniel Hackett. That was the negotiation to get Rodgers. Like, he wants control the autonomy of the team. Like, hey, if I come, I want my guys with me because I want things done precisely how I want it. Because he's a very perfectionist guy. Like, he likes to throw on the seams. He likes to throw on the outside. He hates throwing down the middle. Like, he has a particular way how he throws the ball, and he needs the offense and the guys he trusts to follow that offense. And obviously, it did not work out when Rodgers couldn't even throw to these guys once the real season started. And you got poor Zach Wilson, who played better, but he's just like, this is not designed for me. And I just bang moms, man. I'm not meant for this. I don't know what to do here.
He was having such a good life, dude. He loved being the backup. Like, he was normally most guys don't want to be the backup, but he was like really embracing, like, I'm going to be behind Aaron Rodgers. I don't have to do anything this year. And then they kind of threw him to the wolves a few times in a really bad way. But I think that defense is good enough to take them.
Oh, yeah. I like Sauce Gardner. He's one of my favorite defensive players.
If you look at, like, the point differential, I'm sure there's a ton of games where the Jets lost by, like, a touchdown or less. And are you telling me that Aaron Rodgers doesn't get you a couple of good – even with the bad offensive line, he makes a couple of those throws that gets you there? I think they could at least be second in the division and then maybe make that 7th seed. Maybe they're not the Super Bowl contenders they thought they were, but I think they could get to the playoffs for sure if they had him healthy for a whole year.
I agree.
I think also as a Packers fan who's seen the transition, it's like the feeling of confidence that he can actually like close out a game is something that I didn't know was there until it was gone. You know, like he can kind of, when he has the rock in the fourth quarter, you're like, hey, we got a pretty good shot of putting this thing away, or like he manages the game so well. We last year went to see them play the Rams at home at Lambeau. And just like the way he orchestrated everything and knew where to go with the ball, like the coaching in his ears was almost secondary to what he was trying to accomplish out there. And Jordan, like he's getting to the point where he can plays and call stuff from the line, but he's the most penalized for not getting the playoff in time in the league. So he's still learning. But I think, you know, you get the line fixed up a little bit, because that was, I think when he was talking about after the first injury, the first game, he was like, the whole offense was built around like, kind of being able to ad-lib off what I'm saying. So Hackett kind of gives him this West Coast style, and then Aaron kind of like creates the offense as they go, I think is how he's kind of described it on his interviews. So who knows, man, if they can figure it out. But like I've also seen Rodgers try to move the ball against teams that really aren't that good on the Packers, and all he does is throw quick screens. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Rodgers loves the West Coast offense. I mean, it's been his thing since, because he's from the West Coast, so he had it since his Cal days. So that's just what he's so familiar with. Yeah. All right. Any closing thoughts before we get to the mini game of the week?
Closing thought.
Tough year for injuries, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Awful year for injuries.
Hopefully next year's better.
It's the year of the turf, as I like to call it.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw out a Super Bowl prediction, just team wise.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Mike. I got one more topic, and then we'll after you. Go ahead.
I think it's the Ravens and the Eagles. I hate the Eagles, but I still think that's like one of the best put together teams. I think the 49ers will get exposed against them. And when the Eagles, we're talking about a healthy Jalen Hurts, I think the Eagles probably win. And then the Super Bowl matchup wise, I'd probably take the Ravens in that one though, because they do find a way to be really good teams.
I don't dislike it. How about you, Sam? What's your prediction?
Dude, that's a fun question. I didn't even think about that. I think the Niners make it. I don't see like the Bucks are a 4 seed. That's insane. I think it's going to be Niners Dolphins, just because I think guys like Tyreek and Tua and Waddle, those guys will show up when it matters. They got Mostert too, and Ramsey is. So I think those guys will show up, and that's kind of what it takes to get through the playoffs. Obviously, the Niners are pretty well off too. I think CMC is also ready to take over the quarterback role if he needs to this time.
Yeah.
Mine's a mix of both of you guys. So I got Ravens and 49ers.
That would be a great one.
Yeah.
That would be a really great one.
That.
These would all be great matchups.
So do you guys remember that commercial at the beginning of the NFL season? It was a really clever commercial where they embraced the joke of the NFL scripted. It was like who was it? the guy from Key and Peele. I can't remember his name. Where they have a whole like writing table. Like, all right, guys, here's the script. So here we're gonna do this and that. And then at the end of the commercial, they're like, well, here is the Super Bowl, or like here is the finals version of the script, and then everyone's like sees it and they're all reacting. What do you think that final script piece was?
Dude, I was probably just blank, honestly.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure, but in this fantasy, what do you think it could have been?
Oh, the fantasy matchup at the beginning of the year was probably just a matchup against a rematch of the Eagles and Chiefs. That's what everyone wanted to see again.
I think it's going to be that turf was going to win the MVP. That's why I said it's the year of the turf.
Yeah, the year of the turf.
I think it's a successful hook and ladder from Tyreek Hill to Jalen Waddle for a touchdown that makes the Chiefs just look extra bad and the Super Bowl to win it.
That would be
because they saw in the script, and I was never more confident about the script until I saw the commercial about them making fun of the idea of the NFL being scripted. It's like you guys played right into it. You're clearly scripting the NFL. So I think that's the one. After I saw the Chiefs thing, AJ brought that up. I'm like, that's got to be it. A better wide receiver core than Patrick Mahomes had.
I'm still mad that Jimmy Garoppolo didn't date the Kelsey's mom, Donna Kelsey. I'm mad that didn't happen this year.
There's still time.
Jimmy G dating Mama Kelsey, that'd be a perfect way to end the season.
Family dinners would be insane.
Damn, that'd be crazy. All right, so now to close of the show, we're going to do the mini game of the week. One time I had Todd on the show. We did like a mock draft segment. So we're going to do NFL Weedle, which is like NFL Wordle. So I'll share my screen. And you guys have played Wordle before, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We get guesses of who this player is. And I hate that.
It's a player.
I hate that it just gives you a plain ass guess. Like, just name any player and we'll let you know if you get it, if you're close or not. So I think it's only offensive players. I hope it is because I'm not super good at defensive players. But who's the first player we can think of on the top of our head to make our first guess?
Jamar Chase.
Nice.
Okay, let's do Jamar Chase. So I got to put the apostrophe. There we go. Okay. Well, pretty good start, actually. It's a wide receiver. He's 6 foot. He's under 23 years old. I don't really care what the numbers, but he's not in the AFC North and he's not on Cincinnati. So we got the wide receiver part down. I think it's a big one.
And the height's pretty big, too. There's not a lot of 6 foot wide receivers.
I thought Jamar Chase was taller than 6 feet. I'm not going to lie.
So did I.
I thought it was shorter, honestly.
Wow. So under 23. That takes out like Tyreek Hill and
does that take out CeeDee Lamb?
Yeah, I think
yeah, he's got to be taller than that.
So the number is like when he was picked, and it's just like
this
correct?
Number that's the jersey number.
Oh, okay.
Wow, yeah,
that's higher than 1. Okay,
so he's under 20 years old. And who is that even? That's got to be like a rookie then.
Christian Watson? No, Chris Watson's like 6'3".
Yeah, I'm thinking like maybe Jalen Reed.
What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, go with it because I don't know how tall he is, but I mean he's got to be really young.
It's worse.
Okay, well he's very close to. So what's yellow mean?
Yellow is like you're one off. So he's 22 years old.
So he's in the NFC, right?
Yeah, he's in the NFC.
Oh man, how old is Darnell Mooney?
We had the number right.
Okay, he's Darnell Mooney. I think it's Darnell Mooney.
Dude, yes.
Darnell Mooney's not 23. He's not 22. Well, no.
Yeah, he might be. He's been around for like 2 years only, and he's definitely number 11.
He's 26.
26. Wow, how did he?
And he plays for the Bears. That's tough.
And,
all right.
Oh gosh.
Number 11 in the NFC.
What do we got, team? What about Atlanta? They got a number 11 who's pretty good, don't they?
London? Is it Drake? Is that Drake London?
Drake London. Okay, yeah, we can do Drake London.
Damn.
How about Puka Nacua?
Yeah. Oh yeah, is he number 11?
17. He's 17. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
17. Oh, his number 17.
I thought Drake
17.
London was number 11 also. I didn't know he was number 5. That was backwards, dude.
That'd be so funny if we were just accidentally wearing this guy's jersey and we didn't know it.
Okay, so we got 2 NFC North guys, an NFC South guy. So he could be NFC East.
Michael Pittman?
No, that's the AFC.
Oh, duh.
Who?
NFC East.
So
is AJ Brown number 11? But he's not. He's obviously older and taller, but so that eliminates the Eagles.
Devonta Smith?
He's 6.
Yeah, he's 6.
Maybe he's in the Commandos.
Oh yeah, who's on the Commanders?
What's his face?
Dobson or Dotson?
Dotson.
I think it's Dotson.
Jahan Dotson.
Gonna be on some team that no one like.
Come on, bro.
We're so close on this.
Okay, so it's
NFC West.
NFC West.
Receiver, NFC West, 6 foot, 22 years old, number 11.
Oh, who's the new guy? Jackson
Smith.
Yes.
Nick Jigba.
It's got to be him, right?
Absolutely.
Smithman Jigba. I can't spell their his name.
We got it.
Yeah, buddy.
Yes.
How many takes that? How many?
We get 8 total tries.
Oh, nice.
All right. Next one is in 4 hours, but I'll be asleep by then, so I'm not doing that. Nice work. Nice work, guys.
That's impressive. Vikings and Packers can get along after all.
Yes,
yeah, that's right.
All right. This has been good. We'll have to do this again, maybe after the matchup or sometime in the off season. But thanks again, guys, for taking the time of your schedules, especially during the holidays, to hop on the show. I always like having you guys as guests, and it's even better to have you guys both on the show together.
Yeah, for sure.
I guess let's close out with one thing. What's one thing you want from Santa this year for Christmas or Hanukkah? I don't know what you guys' religions are.
Probably a new JJ jersey if he signs it with them again. I would like a new Justin Jefferson jersey.
Nice. AJ, I already told you what I want for Christmas. I want a new defensive coordinator. So we'll see if Santa delivers, or you just can drop Joe Barry a lump of coal. That's fine too.
A lump of coal, just a big old piece of shit down his chimney. What I want for Christmas is a Manscaped ball trimmer. I actually have on my list.
Well, you don't have to ask Santa for that. Your mom would probably get you one of those.
Yeah,
I think my mom did get me that actually. Well, because I want this, like, it's not just the ball trimmer I want. It's like a package where it comes with the trimmer, the ball deodorant, the gel. It even comes with a nose trimmer. I've been itching my nose a lot. I think
use it on your balls and use it on your nose right after.
Well, no, it's 2 separate trimmers. You get the.
Hey, you don't gotta. It's okay, man. Whatever you do behind closed doors is up to you. It's whatever.
I'm not putting the thing that's touching my sack in my nose, bro.
That's what you got the deodorant for, man.
One thing I asked for Christmas is I'm in this little thing where I just collect college team apparel. Like, I think Mike knows about this. I went to an Iowa-Michigan State game, and I literally got a Michigan State sweater because I didn't want to be seen wearing Iowa gear. And I don't even watch Michigan State football. It's like, okay, I might as well just start collecting these like treasures. So I asked for an Oregon crew neck for Christmas. As my next I like Oregon's color scheme, so that's one reason why I picked that team. I also just want something from each conference. I got an Iowa State for Big 10, Big 12, Wisconsin, and then Michigan, and then Oregon, and maybe we'll get something in SEC and ACC for next year. So that's my little thing I'm doing. I'm just gonna start collecting colleges like they're like trophies.
Nice.
All right, so thanks again, guys, for hopping on the show, and thank you for the listeners or viewers for watching our new episode. I hope everyone has a great holiday, and we will see you guys next episode. So remember to like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend. We will see you guys in the next episode. Take care.